Good morning, scholars. Today we're going to continue our way through Far Sumeric Greek, looking at lines 318 to 330 of Iliad Book 1. This is where Agamemnon dispatches the two heralds to go fetch Briseas from the tent of Achilles. Hos hoi men tapenon to katastraton, ud Agamemnon leg eredos ten proton epelte les Achilles, al hogetal dubion decai urabatan prosewepe, to voyesan keruke kai otrero deraponte, erkeston clisien peleiado Achilleos, que roselont agemen, Briseida calibareon, edeceme toesen, egodecen autos helomai, elton sun pleonese, to roi kai regionestai. Hos epon pros ie, crateron depemuton etele, to dawe conte baten paratinalos atrugetoio, myrmidonon tepi teclisias, kai neas hikesten, ton duron parateclisie, kai ne melaine, hemenon, ud arato gewedon, getesen Achilles. So, hos hoi menta penonto katastraton. So the penonto is imperfect here, third plural of course, and penomai is to be busy with, to attend to. And so the hoi, of course, are the Greeks who are still in the camp, whose Agamemnon has instructed to clear the camp. And the ta is the accusative object of penonto, but it's here demonstrative. So hos hoi men ta penonto. So when or while or as they were doing those things. Katastraton, up and down the camp, across the camp. Ud Agamemnon leg eredos ten proton les Achilles. So leg is here imperfect, lege, without the augment of course. To desist from, so it takes a genitive object, which is eris, eredos, contention, strife, quarrel. And epipelese, first aorist from epapeleo, which means to threaten or to menace, and takes a dative object. So thus Achilles at the end of the line. So hos hoi men ta penonto katastraton, ud Agamemnon leg eredos ten proton epepeles Achilles. So note that the tain is leg eredos tain is just your relative, which he had first threatened against Achilles. Ten proton epepeles Achilles. Al hogetal dubionte kai urubaten prosewepe, to hoi esan keruke kai otrero deraponte. So the woi here, to hoi esan, is our dative of the personal pronoun, and it's the dative of possessor, Smythe 1476. The person for whom a thing exists is put in the dative with anai, gignestai, huparkane, bunai, etc., and is regarded when he is regarded as interested in its possession. So we all learned the Spanish idiom, there is to me a brother. That's something like what we're seeing here. But note all the duals here, because we have ta dubion te kai yura ba ten. These are looked upon as a semi-natural pair. So it's to, woi, esan. Those two, to him, Agamemnon, were. And then these are all duals. Ke ruke kai otrero deraponte. So esan, of course, is a third plural imperfect from eme, to be. Toi, woi, esan. And kerux, kerugos, ha, masculine, is, as Cunliffe describes it, quote, one of a class of attendants on kings or chiefs, found sometimes discharging the general duties of a therapon. So a therapon, as you see, is a follower, a retainer, or a henchman. It's interesting that when in Plato's Euthyphro, when Euthyphro and Socrates are going back and forth about service to the gods, this is the root of the word that's used, therapeuein, to give service to the gods, is Socrates' ultimate definition of piety. So, aoteros, aotere, is a common epithet with these types of servant men, these underlings or assistants to kings and chiefs. And so, deft, rendering ready service, handy, we might say, aoteros. So, to, woi, esan, ke ruke, kai aotero deraponte. So we see the epsilon of third declension duals, and then the omega of second declension duals. So to, woi, esan, ke ruke, kai aotero deraponte. And now he speaks to them. Keston klisien pele iado Achilleos. Keston klisien pele iado Achilleos. So in keston, we have the second person dual imperative. And of course, the imperative is used to express the command, an exhortation, or an entreaty. Of course, this is here a straightforward command. And if we revisit our forms of the middle imperative, because this is from erkomai, to go, and we see luo, lu esto, and then in the dual, lu eston, lu eston. So we're looking at the second person dual. You to go. Keston. You to go. And of course, in poetry, you can have the simple accusative of destination without a preposition. So, keston klisien pele iado Achilleos. Kairos elont agamen Briseas lipareon. Now, kairos is genitive singular of care, hand, and you should consult Smythe 285, subsection 28, for the various ways this word gets declined, because it has these two different stems, one with epsilon iota and the other something with epsilon. But however, here we have this construction of the accusative of the person, Briseida, and the genitive of the part. So he's supposed to taking or by the hand lead Briseida. So helonte is null masculine dual participle from second aorist, from hiereo, to take, and then Agamemnon is a present infinitive as imperative. So remember these somewhat, specific Homeric infinitives in mu, epsilon, nu, Agamemnon, and remember as well that in the vicinity following a straightforward expression of command, you can have the infinitive carry forward and add on to that command. So erkeston Agamemnon is, go and take. Go and taking her by the hand, lead her. Ago, lead. E de que me do e sen, ego de ken autos helomai. So do e sen, of course, is second aorist subjunctive. Third singular from didome, and helomai is again second aorist subjunctive from hiereomai. And we see that ke is in both of these clauses, both in the apodosis and in the protasis. E de ke, me, do e sen, ego de ken autos helomai. So this gets addressed at Smythe 2327b. In Homer, ke plus a subjunctive may appear in both the protasis and apodosis of future more vivid conditions. So e de ke me do e sen, ego de ken autos helomai. And again, Goodwin tells us at 201, in epic poetry, when the independent subjunctive has nearly the same sense of the future indicative, it sometimes takes can or on. So the last bit, the apodosis, ego de ken autos helomai. This is really equivalent to a future indicative. I myself will come, or I should say, will take her. Will take her for myself. Will do myself the taking. If he won't give her up, I myself will come and give and do the taking. E de ken me do e sen, ego de ken autos helomai. El ton su pleon esse, to voi kai region estai. So el ton, of course, is our masculine singular second aorist participle from erkomai. And pleon esse is dative plural from pleon, pleonos, more, many, a great number. And this adjective can be kind of strange because you see that you have in this quote from one of my more obscure grammars, Paulus pleon. These forms are derived from the root pi omicron lambda with the endings ion, istos, whence by the attraction of letters comes pleon, of which pleon is an abbreviated form. So you will see pleon and pleon, i.e. you'll see this word with epsilon iota and with simple epsilon. So you have to be ready to rock and roll and be flexible. But so, el ton sun pleonesse, to voi kai region estai. And of course, the voi is a dative to him, i.e. to Achilles, to voi, which thing to him, kai, indeed almost, estai, shall be, region, more dreadful, worse, more to be feared. To voi kai region estai. Ho sepon pro ie, crateron depemuton etella, to da veconte baten, paratin halos ha trugetoyo. So pro it a is your imperfect. This is transitive, so speaking, he sent them forth. And one has to always be attendant of the dialectic forms of Hi'eme. So consult Smythe 777 and just get used to these various forms that you'll see in Homer. And to, da, we, kon, de, ba, dan. You see a nice collocation of these dual endings. To, second declension, we, kon, de, third declension, and then ba, dan is the from Bino. The two of them, they went unwillingly. So, mir mi donon de pi ecclesias kaineas hikesten. Now, who are these Myrmidon? So, the Myrmidons are a people of Pityotis in Thessaly, whose chief towns were Phthia and Hellas. They accompanied Achilles to the Trojan War and are said to have derived their name from imitating the diligence of ants, Myrmekes, which Jupiter first metamorphosed into men on the island of Aegina. And this is from Ovid 7:6-2. He says they are not mentioned after the Trojan War. So if we look at this map, Myrmedonon eptepet ecclesias kaineas ikestein, they came to the tents and ships of the Myrmidons. If we look at toward the center of the map and then over to the right, we see Achaea, Pityotis in southeastern Thessaly, and this is where Achilles and his men would have come from. Myrmedonon tepet ecclesias kaineas ikesten, ton duron parat ecclesiae kainei melaine. So ikesten, again, third person dual, second aorist. So they arrived. Epit, they arrived at, with with the accusative, as in that's where they were headed, the direction. And Huron is second aorist from heurisco, which is to find or come upon, and you find or come upon a person in a specific condition or doing something. So we'll see that they find him hey manon, they find him setting. We'll deal with that in the next slide. But here it's important to realize that a dual subject may take a plural verb, and likewise a dual and plural verb may alternate. So you have some freedom here, but this is why Huron can be plural even though the subject are the two heralds. So, as I said, Hemenon, ton duron parate ecclesiae kaine imelaine, Hemenon. And Hemenon is from Hemai, to set, and it is inflected only in the present system. And so our participle Hemenos, they found him setting. And the ton, which begins the line, ton Hemenon, ton duron, him they found setting beside the tent and black ship. So this is an important verb, hemai, and looking at 789a. Uncompounded hemai occurs only in epic, tragedy, and Herodotus. The missing tenses, because again this is only in the present system, are supplied by hesdomai, hisdo, and hisdomai. So ton diuron parate clisie kaine imeline, hemenon ud artogewidon getese Achilles. So, expounding on this construction of huron hemenon, verbs of finding, reading Smythe 2113, verbs of finding and detecting, for instance, heurisco, katalambano, and passive haliskomai, I am caught, in their capacity as verbs of perceiving, take the participle. Okay, so this is either not an indirect discourse, the act or state in which a person or thing is found, and that's what we have here. They found him setting. Ud arato gewedon gete sen Achilles. Now, ud here, as Denniston tells us, page 192, ude is often stands for simply kai u. It simply adds a negative idea to a positive one, i.e., they found him setting, that's your positive idea, but then on the other hand, ud arato gewedon gete sen Achilles. So, widon from id, aid, oid, meaning to see. You can check out Smythe's index of verbs for this very important verb. But Achilles, ud arato gewedon, seeing to, accusative of the dual, seeing the two of them, ud gete sen Achilles. And geteo is to rejoice or be glad. So ud arato gewedon gete sen Achilles. Now this is a good example how the to gewedon is nestled in between, almost like sandwiched between the two buns of ud ara gete sen Achilles. To gewedon. This is just the way Greek works, and it's quite marvelous once one gets used to it. Okay, so hos hoi men ta penont to katastraton, ud Agamemnon leg eridos ten proton pepeles Achillee, al hogetatubion te kai urubaten prosewepe, to hoi esan keruke kai otrero teraponte. Keston glycien pele iado Achilleos, keros elont agamen brise idaka lipareon, edeken me dos esen, ego deken autos helomai, elton sun pleonese, to voi carigion estai. Hos epon pro ie, crateron depemuton etele, to daveconte paten, paraten halos atrugetoio, mir medonon te pite clisias, kaineas ikesten, ton duron parate clisie, kaine e meline, hemenon. Ud arato gewedon gete sen Achilles. And just looking back at line 327, the last bit, paraten halos atrugetoio. Remember, halos is from house, the sea, atrugetoio, your standard epithet for the sea, fruitless, not giving any crops or anything. So to con to baten paraten halos atrugetoio. Okay, so there we have it, and we'll be continuing with this account of Achilles in his tent and camp, and the heralds taking Briseas away, and the consequences that fall from that. Have a good day, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.